I've been working on Teslas for 6 years. I've seen the door handle failures, the screen glitches, the 12-volt batteries that die without warning at the worst possible moment. I know what breaks on these cars better than most people alive. But here's what nobody ever asks me. What doesn't break? Because that list is just as important. And honestly, it's the reason I'd still recommend one of these cars to my own parents. In 6 years, I have never replaced a Tesla drive motor due to normal wear. Not once. I have replaced motors that were flood damaged. I have swapped one that took a serious impact in an accident. But a motor that just wore out from driving? It has not happened in my shop. Compare that to gas engines. I have done full engine replacements on vehicles with 80,000 miles on them. I have seen timing chain failures at 70,000. Engines are complicated, and complicated things break. A Tesla motor has one moving part. The rotor spins inside a magnetic field, and that is essentially the whole story. No combustion, no valves opening and closing thousands of times a minute. No oil pressure holding everything together by a thread. When customers ask me if the motor will last, I tell them honestly, the motor is probably the last thing you need to worry about on this car. This is the part of the conversation I have with new Tesla owners that changes how they think about the whole thing. I ask them, when was the last time you replaced your timing belt? Most of them remember. It is usually $700 to $1,000. It has to be done whether you want to or not. If you skip it and it snaps, you are looking at a destroyed engine. Teslas don't have one. No spark plugs, no catalytic converter, which matters, because I see those stolen off conventional cars in our parking lot more than I would like to admit. No transmission fluid, no clutch, no multi-speed gearbox with solenoids and clutch packs waiting to fail. These are not simplified versions of those systems. They are just gone. One of my long-term customers traded in a BMW she had owned for 9 years. She added up what she had spent on scheduled maintenance alone, not repairs, just scheduled service, and it came to just over $11,000. In the 3 years since she bought her Model Y, her total maintenance spend is under $400 tires and a wiper blade. That is not marketing. That is what the absence of those systems actually looks like in real dollars. Think about the last time you had a brake job done. It probably cost somewhere between $300 and $600. Maybe more if the rotors needed replacing too. Most of my Tesla customers haven't had that conversation yet, even the ones with 80,000 or 90,000 miles on their cars. Because when you lift off the accelerator in a Tesla, the motor flips into generator mode and slows the car down by putting energy back into the battery. Your actual brake pads are sitting there doing almost nothing for the majority of your driving. I had a gentleman bring in his Model 3 last spring for its annual inspection, with 118,000 miles. His brake pads still had about 60% life left. I have seen brand new cars come in for service at dealerships with worse pads than that at 40,000 miles. I am not going to tell you the brakes never need attention. The brake fluid still needs to be changed every 2 years regardless of mileage, because moisture gets in and lowers the boiling point. And that is a safety issue, not a preference. But the pads and rotors themselves, on a Tesla driven normally, you may go the entire time you own the car without replacing them. This is one people don't expect me to say, because when something goes wrong with it, it gets expensive fast. But under normal conditions, Tesla's cooling system is surprisingly reliable. And it has to be. This system isn't just keeping you comfortable in the cabin. It is managing battery temperature, motor temperature, and power electronics, all at once, often under heavy load. I have had customers come in with 120,000, 140,000 miles on their cars, and the cooling system is still doing exactly what it is supposed to do. No leaks, no performance issues, no overheating warnings. On a gas car, cooling systems are one of the more common failure points. Radiators crack, water pumps fail, thermostats stick. It is not unusual to see repairs in the $800 to $1,500 range over time. On Teslas, those kinds of failures are much less common in my experience. When problems do show up, it is usually tied to a specific component like a valve or sensor, not the entire system wearing out. What I tell people is this: do not ignore it, but do not expect it to be a constant issue either. If you keep an eye out for warnings and address small problems early, the system itself tends to hold up very well over the long run. This one is a little outside what I see on the lift, but it matters for long-term ownership, so I am going to include it. Every few months, my customers' cars update overnight while they are asleep. Not just new features. The battery management system gets refined, the charging algorithms improve, and the thermal management gets adjusted. Tesla has pushed updates that measurably reduced battery degradation on cars that were already years old. I have worked on plenty of vehicles where the technology inside aged out faster than the car did. The navigation becomes useless, the safety systems become outdated, and the only fix is buying something newer. That is a real cost of ownership that nobody includes in the comparison. A Tesla you buy today will drive differently, and in most ways better, 5 years from now. I cannot say that about anything else I work on. I want to be straight with you, because I am not here to sell you anything. Teslas do break. The early Model S had computer failures that were expensive and frustrating. Suspension components wear out on high-mileage cars, the same as anything else. If you buy a used Tesla and the 12-volt battery has not been replaced, budget for it immediately, because it will strand you without warning. But when I think about what sends people to a mechanic and ruins their month, major engine repairs, transmission rebuilds, catalytic converter replacements, almost none of that applies to these cars. The systems that generate the biggest, most stressful repair bills on conventional vehicles either do not exist in a Tesla, or they are engineered in a way that dramatically reduces how often they fail. The customers I have who are the happiest with their Teslas, years into ownership, are the ones who understood that going in. They were not surprised by what broke, and they were not surprised by what did not. I'll ask you this: if you've been on the fence about whether a car like this makes sense for the long haul, what's been the biggest thing holding you back? Drop it in the comments. I read all of them, and some of your questions will end up as future videos. Subscribe if you want the straight story on these cars. No hype, no agenda, just what I actually see in the shop.